Hello guys, welcome to a new video. Today I will be giving you the best tips and tricks on how to deal with Hog Earthquake when playing 2.6 Hog Cycle. Stay tuned because you will enjoy this one. So the main deck this season is the one you're seeing right now that has Bomb Tower, Mighty Miner, Firecracker, and some Goblins that gives us 2.6 players such a pain. So basically I believe that the Hog Earthquake deck does have a matchup advantage in the majority of cases, and that if this matchup happens between two players that play to the best of their ability, the Hog Earthquake will win the majority of the times. However, this video is here just to inform you and give you some tips and tricks on how you can maximize your probability of actually beating Hog Earthquake whenever you're playing 2.6 and get paired against them on ladder. One thing that the majority of these decks have, well, nowadays, this season has been pretty standard. The deck is normally the same. The only thing that does change is, for example, Goblins for Skeletons to improve the cycle or something like that. But the majority of the time, it's this deck that you're seeing right here with Mighty Miner, Firecracker, Goblins, Bomb Tower, and just a pretty quick cycle overall. So what you're going to want to do is, of course, as I say in all my videos, it's essential to identify which will be the most important cards of the game. For example, for his deck, the most important cards and the cards that you need to keep in your mind whenever calculating the cycle or anything are, first of all, his Hog Rider, because you want to be able to have a counter or a defense for it all the time. Secondly, his Bomb Tower, because that is the counter that he has for you, and you want to keep that in mind just to know when he has that up or not. And third of all, I would say the Evolved Firecracker, because you need to know when he has the Evolved Firecracker to not play anything that will give him a lot of value. One thing I do want to point out is that when playing against Hog Earthquake, it's usually a good matchup for the Earthquake player, and they usually have a higher probability of winning the game than the 2.6 Hog Rider player. However, this probability of Hog 2.6 winning the game is increased when you're able to actually activate your King's Tower, because when you're defending against a Hog Rider push, for example, with like this that I'm defending right here with the cannon, and you actually have your King Tower activated, the probability of that Hog Rider breaking through and actually hitting your tower decreases by a lot, since now your King Tower is also targeting it, and it will have less HP to actually deal damage to your tower. However, in this matchup, you can see that this guy is actually playing it really well, basically because he has played almost no Firecrackers until Double Elixir, so I actually managed to activate the King Tower extremely late, whereas you normally want to activate it within one of the first plays of the game. One card that is extremely important in your deck in this games, and I think it's basically the game changer when a 2.6 player beats a Hog Earthquake player and when they don't, is the use of your Musketeer. As you know, their only big spell is Earthquake, which actually does not kill your Musketeer. So one good play that you can do is to play a lot of Musketeers in the back side of where they are attacking. So for example, if your opponent is attacking the right side, you want to play Musketeers in the back right side whenever you're full elixir and you don't know what to do, because this will do one of two things. First of all, it can create a very big push for you, which will be nice and give you a lot of value on offense. And secondly, it helps you defend Hog Riders whenever they go for an Earthquake extremely well, since if you go for a cannon to defend a Hog Rider and he goes with an Earthquake to kill the cannon and help the Hog Rider actually hit the tower, if you have a Musketeer right there, the only thing you need to do is place an Ice Spirit, and you will be able to counter the Hog Rider and the Earthquake push extremely nicely. Okay, so this game right here, we're actually playing against the version that has Skeletons, and as you can see, one of the main priorities we have is to actually activate the King's Tower early, although we get to an elixir disadvantage by doing that. It is a lot more beneficial to even lose elixir and activate the tower than just take a hit to your tower or defend the Firecracker normally. So one thing you're going to want to do, or you're going to want to focus on, is outcycling your opponent's Bomb Tower. Once you outcycle your opponent's Bomb Tower, you're going to want to do a push where you do a prediction log for the goblins if you know that your opponent has goblins and he has used goblins normally to defend your pushes. So you can see here that he used a hog earthquake push, and since we had a musketeer on board, even though she was busy with the mighty miner, she actually helped defend pretty well, and his hog only got one hit thanks to our king tower being activated. But oh well. You can see that right there, our hog actually got pushed to the right side and made it to the tower, which gave us a pretty big damage lead, which is always nice to have in these type of matchups. As you can see, I'm playing musketeers in the back. I should have probably played that musketeer on the right side, but right now I'm playing the musketeers to be aggressive since I know that I will probably be able to outcycle his bomb tower. Turns out I cannot outcycle his bomb tower, but here you see what I'm saying. He goes with an earthquake to kill the cannon so that his hog rider can actually get a hit. But in the end, since we had our king tower activated and we actually placed the musketeer, he was not able to do so. Here again, he missed his bomb tower placement, and we logged the firecracker because we did a prediction log just in case he placed some goblins, but instead he just gave us the evolved firecracker value, which was really nice and it's very worth it for us. So now we go with the hog rider. Of course, now it does actually go onto the bomb tower, but he overspends by placing a mighty miner. We go with a musketeer, and right when the musketeer connects, we place an ice golem because we expected him to play a firecracker. Another placement you need to learn, or another mechanic you need to learn, is to always try to defend his hog rider pushes in a different way. This can be either by placing cannons in different places, it can be by different timings, so like waiting. You can see that right here, he's actually missing the earthquakes because our cannons are a bit far for him and he wasn't expecting that, since at the start of the match we hadn't been putting our cannons over there. And that does not only apply to this game right here, it applies to every single game of Clash Royale you play. You generally want to switch up your defenses, due to the fact that if you don't switch them up and you play the same defense over and over again, you make it very easy for your opponent to be able to predict your pushes. Here we go with the musketeer to the left side, just in case he attacks the left side since it's the tower that has the less HP. However, he decides to go to the right side. We defend with a fireball, a cannon, and an ice spirit, and look, that hog rider only gets one hit thanks to our king tower being activated. Look how quickly he cycles. Whenever he drops a mighty miner and the mighty miner stays alive, he can cycle very, very early. But look at that, although he used the earthquake with the hog rider, since we had our king tower activated, it did not get a hit. Here we have to panic a bit because he outcycled us, and we had to drop a cannon at the last minute, only letting him get one hit on our tower. So we're just gonna spell cycle this match. Since we had a very big damage lead, we just have to spell cycle his tower and get the W over here, since it's not very likely that he will get our tower low in that short time span. So GG for game 2, and let's move on to game 3. One other mechanic that you guys have to learn, it's very important. As you saw in that last play, he had the evolved firecracker and he played it at the bridge after playing a hog rider. This is a very dangerous play because, for example, if you defend his hog rider with a cannon right in front of your tower and he plays an evolved firecracker in the middle, her splash damage, which will actually get to your tower. And that is something that you don't want it to happen, because the firecracker right now is so OP. She deals so much damage, and you just don't want her to hit your tower, especially in the last minutes of the game when it's very tight and any kind of damage will decide the game. The damage that an evolved firecracker does is just ridiculous, and you don't want that on your tower. Here you can see that we get extremely unlucky. The firecracker doesn't lock onto our musketeer because we placed her one tile down, and she actually gets 2 free hits on our tower before activating the king's tower. We decide to go with a hog rider, but I don't think we log, which was bad. We should have prediction logged, and he actually manages to get back to a bomb tower in time, which is very impressive. This guy has a very fast cycle. Getting back to our previous point of not placing cards in the center so that they don't get firecracker value, you do generally want to make some predictions with this. For example, if you play a musketeer in the back and you know they have a firecracker in the cycle, one of the things they will usually do is just play a firecracker even if it's only to get some splash damage or some chip damage on your tower. So you want to be very quick with your ice golems, your ice spirits, your skeletons, to not let your opponent's firecracker actually lock on to your musketeer so that they deal a lot of damage to your tower. You can see right there, one of the other mechanics you can do is that once you've activated your king's tower, you can defend their pushes by spending a lot less elixir. So one thing you can do over there is send in a hog while they're mid push. This will firstly make them have to take a bit of damage or spend less on offense, and secondly, it will most of the time catch them by surprise the first time you do it, and could even lead you to winning the game due to that. On another note, let's talk about now. I don't know if you've seen it. I recently posted on the community tab the balance changes for next season, but it turns out that they're actually nerfing the Mighty Miner, and they're also finally nerfing the evolved Firecracker. So it looks like Clash Royale finally heard our calls or our pleas for improving the game, the state of the game right now. So it's going to be generally interesting what the meta next season will be, as they're going to buff Tesla, I think the Goblin Giant, and the Battle Ram. They're going to buff all those 3 cards, so hopefully it does not turn into an Expo meta, but yeah, I don't think the next meta can be any worse than this one. I hope it actually is better than this meta. But over here you can just see that we're playing a very repetitive game. He's up on damage, and he's cycling so quickly to his next bomb towers. The reason why he's cycling so quick to his bomb towers is that he has a lot of Mighty Miners on the field, and he's keeping them alive very quickly. As you know, when you have a champion on the field, your cycle becomes a 3-card cycle, so it's a lot better for you, and you can cycle a lot faster. You can get back to your bomb towers a lot faster. But you can see that 2.6 is one of the fastest cycles, and if you misuse your evolved firecrackers like that, you leave yourself vulnerable to a push like that, and for us to win. So now we have to try and take 2 crowns since he's given up. But anyways, if you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment, first of all, any other videos you want to see, and how your day was, how's your holidays going. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe for more content, and see you.